all corners of the globe to your ears, it's the Midnight Movie Cowboys. Sometimes informative, sometimes controversial, but always unpredictable. It's the Midnight Movie Cowboys podcast with your hosts, Hunter, John, and Stu. And now, on with the show.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Midnight Movie Cowboys for this week, week 2 of Munsters Month. Got the gang all back and joined again once by Garo. Thank you, my friend.
Hello.
The pitchforks and torches that were in Frankenstein were the ones that have actually come after Garo after last week's episode. Anyway,
actually, I actually after you introduce the other two, I want to bring up something I forgot to bring up last week about the Bryan Singer one. So you finish introducing them.
All right then. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, joining me is co-host, 12-year co-host as of yesterday. Unreal. As of the point in time of this recording, that is. Unfreaking real. So yeah. I wanted to actually call our 12-year anniversary episode 12 years of podcast slave, because that's what it feels like, man. Just thousands of hours we've put in for this friggin' thing. But anyway,
Yes. Down
in Dallas, Texas, over that way, is Mr. Hunter Doozing. Sans
Hello.
Charlie Benante mustache.
Yeah.
Has been for a while, but I didn't bring it up. Anyway, slumped in his couch, as always, enthusiastic as always, over that way, is John Grace in Denver, Colorado.
Howdy, everybody.
All right. And over in Florida, over that way, is it backwards, is Mr. Garo Nigoghossian, the Armenian madman.
Yes. And let's get right into the Bryan Singer thing that I forgot. Is if you noticed in the episode, like it was very fetishized how they had, Eddie in a Boy Scout outfit almost through the entire episode, and he wasn't in the Boy Scout outfit. He was in he was nude. And I just think it's like we kind of forgot that part about how creepy it was. That it's just like the kind of fetishizing of him. I did look.
We didn't figure.
I did. Yeah, but it was not brought up. And I want to also mention that I actually researched to see if there was ever an episode of the Munsters where Eddie Munster wore a Boy Scout uniform. Doesn't exist. So this was all in their own creepy imagination, for that one episode.
Yeah.
Imagine how much creepier it would have gotten if it went to like 13.
Hunter's bailed already. Yeah. It would have been like a Eddie Izzard, Bryan Singer, rub and tug writing session, I guess. Anyway, enough about that. We've scared off everyone. That Bryan Singer, that Munsters thing he did just gained too much traction. It was so freaking bad. It should have gotten nothing more than a discussion last week.
I've been telling people that it exists, and they're shocked. And when I tell them, yeah, Jerry O'Connell's Herman Munster, and he's just got a big scar around his neck, they just look at me and, you can see a little bit of them die inside. It's just, the pitch is just so bad.
Well, I'm the opposite to you. It doesn't exist. It may exist out in the ether, but it doesn't exist. It is not canon at all. That thing. So bad.
I don't think anything.
It's like Superman Returns. Everybody forgets that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I don't think anything without Fred Gwynne is canon, to be perfectly honest.
I think My Cousin Vinny is more canon for the Munsters than the Bryan Singer.
I actually think Pet Sematary is the prequel to the Munsters.
That's the origin story.
Yeah. That's the origin story that Rob Zombie's trying to steal.
Like, it's just been a while and he's lost his main accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
I
we
want to go
need a
down
body.
that road. Summertime.
Why does he sound like Jim Garrison for?
Yeah.
The theme song to that movie sounds like the Ramones.
Because it is.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, week 2, Munsters Month. We are talking about, as we said we would, Munster Go Home from 1966. Garo, you brought up an interesting point last week where you said that the television show that killed off the Munsters was Batman.
Yep.
And the film, theatrically, that, well, did a lot more business than this was Batman. Yeah.
Yep.
And Batman is referenced in this film.
Yep. And so is Car 54. Where are you?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. That had to be a joke written by, or suggested by Al Lewis or Fred Gwynn for sure. But anyway, who had seen this before?
Many
Pretty
times.
sure it's one of those. I saw it on TV, and I was popping in the disc, and I remember the Herman racing the Dragula stuff, but I also noticed Munsters Revenge on the disc, and I was like, I remember watching that one too on television. But yeah, I remember seeing this. I don't remember it that well because I was a little kid, so it was good to watch it again.
You talking about this one?
I've got the I have it on the Munsters Complete series.
Oh,
set.
okay. Yeah.
And I'd seen bits and pieces of it on TV when I was a kid, but I've never seen the whole movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
John?
Multiple times when I was a little kid, like back in the late 70s, early 80s, it was a very standard weekend feature on UHF channels.
Okay.
And the Superstation, WTBS, back when it showed old movies.
All right. Well, I obviously have seen this. I can't think how many times. It's got to be hitting up near 35 or 40 times I've seen this, which is not a great deal considering I've seen Munsters Revenge, I think about 100 without a joke. I've literally seen that thing 100 times. We'll get into that more next week.
You're going to be doing those numbers on the Rob Zombie one, right?
Yeah, actually, yes. I think, but just take away the 2 zeros.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what I did do this time around is something I haven't done before, is I watched it in black and white.
What?
Yeah. So I drained the color on my 4K TV, which, no, I'm not bragging. 4K TVs are freaking everywhere these days, so I'm not big noting myself. But this Blu-ray here is a damn good release. If you can get your hands on it by Shut Factory, I'd say pick it up. Munster Go Home looks fantastic in HD. It's had a really good restoration job on it. And one of the special features on there is the Munsters Revenge in HD, which, wow, didn't expect that. And that was the tipping point for me to buy this thing, along with the Rob Zombie commentary with Butch Patrick on there, which I nearly did listen to today, but I thought I just couldn't stomach listening to that man. Not today.
So that's real? There's a commentary with him on there?
Bonus feature film. New audio commentary with actor Butch Patrick and filmmaker recording artist Rob Zombie.
We would like to
Oh
argue
my
the
gosh.
filmmaking credit.
Yeah. Noted filmmaker Rob Zombie.
Yeah. That's just a universal.
We all know that's what
push.
he's primarily known for.
Yeah. Speaking of Rob Zombie, which we haven't done for about 2 minutes, I went back and listened to not all of, but a lot of the box set that you've got, Hunter. The it came from NYC, the early White Zombie stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, is that a fucking train wreck, that band.
Yeah. Oh,
Those-
yeah. They sound like Sonic Youth.
They Rob Zombie. Okay, he's not Robert Plant. Let's say that much. But
He's Robert Cummings on most of those.
A Straker as well in some of it. Which, gee, I wonder where he got that name from. What's that first album or EP they did? Was it Pig Heaven or something like that? Or Pig Heaven's one of the songs on there. I don't know.
It starts to get towards the end of that set is where it starts to sound more like White Zombie.
It's when it gets to that 7-inch, that God of Thunder 7-inch. That's when he starts sounding like White Zombie. And the thing before it, I think it was the album just before that. They started to form that sound. But anyway, the earlier recordings before that band was shit. They were just awful.
They were one of those no wave bands you'd see in like Abel Ferrara's Driller Killer.
Yeah,
they were one of those type of bands,
And it made me draw parallels between Pantera and White Zombie. Got a whole bunch of early recordings, but boy, don't those things not exist.
Hey, Pantera's early stuff the Glamterra stuff is the best.
Hell no, it's not.
Power metal, that band peaked with power metal.
That album is okay, but it's Judas. We love Judas Priest, aka power metal. But the early albums,
the album cover, Metal Magic, that cover,
that's garbage. and songs like Nothing On But the Radio. Ugh.
Yeah.
Hopeless.
No,
hopeless.
The album I was thinking of is Make Them Die Slowly.
That's it.
That one's where they start sounding like White Zombie.
Yeah. But oof. Man, those
like Soul Crusher, that stuff, it's a little more like Rob kind of has a higher pitched voice. He said they have this sonic youth no wave sound. It's just
he sounds like he hasn't hit puberty. He doesn't. He sounds like a prepubescent boy.
He's built like Natalie Portman.
I was waiting for Garo to say he still hasn't hit puberty yet.
No, you've got that big beard. He's went through puberty.
He has? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just the other week.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear? I found this out the other day. Do you know if Rob Zombie and Sherry Moon Zombie had a baby now, the odds of it being retarded would be higher because of their advanced age?
Well, yeah. It would look like it would look like Butch Patrick as Eddie Munster, and they'd be happy. They'd be in utopia because that's what they wanted. They wanted a little wolf man.
But yeah, I found that interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they want their kid to be like the dude before Butch Patrick.
Well, that's how it would
one
act.
who's just like ah.
I love Make 'Em Die Slowly. It's my favorite White Zombie album.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to put the child on a leash.
Yeah, if they had little Eddie Munster in their Munsters movie, which may maybe that's a reveal for the end. He'd have like the Kiss posters, and he'd have like the Leonard Skinner posters and
Foghat, Nazareth.
Foghat, yeah, Nazareth. Hair of the dog.
Yeah.
It would be all that stuff,
Ramones
on his wall, and
Sam Hain. Yeah.
Sam Hain.
I was actually watching
Danzig covered in blood on the wall.
Yeah, the kid be walking around with an Initium T-shirt on. It's like, oh man.
He's got the devil. Like, no, that's what he would do. Eddie Munster would have the devil lock.
Oh, you know it.
He looked like Jerry only. Like,
yeah, because in a perfect world, all kids walk around with devil lock haircuts, don't they?
Yeah.
Munster Go Home. Okay.
Yeah.
From 1966. Just keep talking more Rob Zombie for the moment, please, boys, while I bring this up on IMDb for the cast.
Well, we all know that this new movie is not going to be as good as Munster Go Home. We can all just assume that.
You know what?
I think we should do. This is what we should do. Next week, this is homework, okay? Next week, at the end of the show, we review Rob Zombie's Munsters without seeing it. Like we actually tell you, say what we would rate it and why we would rate it, and then we can see how correct we are when we on the episode where we review it.
I've got a bad feeling. I think out of the four of us, I'm going to turn around and say it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Oh, I think you have the highest likelihood of liking it.
I think so. I mean, I gave I gave 3 from Hell. I think 6.5, which is above.
I thought you gave. I remember you giving it a 10 because anything above 2 for that movie, I just hear 10.
It just seems unreasonable. It just seems hyperbolic.
Yep.
We just can't. Anything above that, I don't know.
All right,
it makes no sense.
Okay, before we get into Munster Go Home, which I will bring up in a second with cast and crew, why is Rob Zombie? And the answer can't be because he's an inept filmmaker. Why is Rob Zombie so beaten upon as a filmmaker?
Because he's a horrible screenwriter. That's it. That's
that
what it comes down to. Yep. I mean, he's not a bad director per se.
Okay.
But it's the writing that he's horrible at. Like if he was actually directing someone else's script, he might actually make a good to great movie. But as long as he has a hand in writing it, he's going to keep making shit.
Yeah.
It's the auteur problem. He won't direct another person's script because he gets those deals to write and direct. And that's a big mistake.
And it's something that, there's a lot of directors who, even if they don't write their own stuff, they want that sole credit and they'll pay someone off to get it or they'll edge someone out. Like Mike Cimino.
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Tarantino with Roger Avery.
Oh, yeah. Roger Avery was
Yep.
total. His contributions to Pulp Fiction were very minimized.
Mm-hmm.
He got a story credit and he, a lot of that script is his.
Yeah, pretty much the whole mid part with Bruce Willis is his.
Yeah, that's all Roger. What was it? Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda, they fell out over the screenwriting credit for Easy Rider.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Peter Fonda said Hopper never spoke to him after that, sued him a bunch of times.
Oh boy.
And
Good.
he said he wanted to do more stuff with him, but Hopper was burned up over the credits for that. So.
The Vinnie Vincent effect is.
Well, it's just there's some people love that auteur. They love to be the guy, the creative genius. They want to create that image for themselves.
Speaking of auteurs, I was watching a Vice piece on Jerry Lewis, and boy, did that sucker get me too'd a lot after he cocked it. Holy shit!
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff coming out about him lately.
Yeah,
he yelled at a friend of mine. Like my friend is Betsy Sherman. She used to write for the Boston Globe. She's the one who came up with the for Shakes a Clown, the Citizen Kane of alcoholic clown movies. That was her review.
Oh, great.
And she went to go interview Jerry Lewis when he was on doing Damn Yankees on Broadway. And he just started yelling at her until she cried. She was supposed to interview him. And during the interview, he just started yelling at her and she started crying and left. She still was a huge Jerry Lewis fan afterwards. Still a huge Jerry Lewis fan. It's kind of a badge of honor to be yelled at, I guess, by Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, I remember he was doing that interview before it was like one of the last things I remember him doing before he died, where he was being interviewed as part of a series on nonagenarian people working in Hollywood. And he was just giving the interviewer the hardest time. What was Vegas like when you came there? I don't know. Was it like a dusty cow town? Yeah, it's a dusty cow town.
Have you guys seen
How's it changed? It's the same.
There's a video up on YouTube of a young guy. Jerry Lewis is on stage, and the young guy gets pulled up on stage. He's heckling Jerry or something, and the guy says something about he wants to sing a song, and he starts singing that song that Jerry Lewis would sing at the end of every muscular dystrophy telethon.
The
Fucking Jerry slaps him and gets him off the stage.
What was it? Did you ever see that thing where Martin Short was Jerry Lewis? Martin Scorsese presents Jerry Lewis on the Champs-Élysées. Oh gosh, if you haven't seen that, look it up. On
he does the
YouTube.
typewriter routine live. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then all the French guys going, "He's a genius!
Genius! He's a genius!"
Oh, the French loved him.
Oh
Holy
yeah.
mackerel.
What was it? One of our listeners, Anson Matthews, was turning me on to Pierre Etax, the French comedian, and apparently Jerry Lewis was a huge fan of his and put him in The Day the Clown Cried, which we all know that movie has gone on to be seen by many people.
I was actually speaking to one of my sons about that on Sunday. We were coming back from the record fair, and we were talking about films that were unreleased, and he goes, "Oh, what about that Jerry Lewis clown one?" I said, "Oh, The Day the Clown Cried." He goes, "Yeah, it's coming out in 2025." I said, "That thing ain't coming out, boy. It's buried." He goes, "Oh,
I think it'll probably be.
the Jerry
think it's
Lewis
probably
estate's
better
going to release it in 25." I said, "It ain't coming out."
I think it'll still be better than Batgirl. I'm going on record for saying that.
Well, when Batgirl got shelved, everybody was going, "Oh, this has never happened before." I was going, "Really?" Like,
Happened a bunch of times.
yeah, studios
Quite a
have
few
gone
times.
like, "We'll get the tax write-off. This thing sucks." Like we're not spending any more money on this thing. It's a dog with fleas.
Yeah.
And with the Batgirl thing, it was just came down to they thought it hurt the DC brand. They didn't want no friggin' bitch Batgirl. Who wants that? Unless it's like some fucking movie's gonna play on Skinamax or something like that. But
What was it? Somebody, I think Low-Res was saying Michael Keaton said no to Batman Forever, but said yes to this.
I think he's seen it. I think he got a copy.
Ugh.
Really?
Yeah, well, he at least put up a meme that made it look like he had a copy. Somehow I don't know if he faked it or he actually has a print, because I think there's a copy going around.
He had a blank disc with Batgirl unreleased written on it. He was
But
just
it
holding
looked
up
like
to
he
it.
had the movie.
Oh, really?
It looked there was a frame from it or still, and it looked like a time code or whatever. But he might have it. Who knows?
someone's gonna leak it. One of those people that worked on it who are proud of it are gonna leak it, and it's gonna hit BitTorrent, and everyone will see it, and we'll be able to make our own decision. We'll probably have to do an episode on it.
Yeah, we'll do one.
Yeah.
Not
that we endorse BitTorrent at all. Of course.
No, we don't.
No, it's horrible. We hate
we don't
it.
know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's it's the worst thing ever.
I believe anybody who uses raw BG should be locked up.
Listen, it goes BitTorrent, Joe Biden. That's the way it goes for things that are horrible.
Yeah.
So Munster Go Home, you got it pulled up, Stu?
Yes, I do. Okay. Munster Go Home from 1966. Synopsis. The Munsters travel to England after Herman discovers he's the new Lord of Munster Hall, the 5th Earl of Shropshire. All right. Directed by Earl Bellamy. Writers Joe Connolly, Bob Mosher, which I thought that's the best metal name ever, Bob Mosher, and George Tibbles, starring Fred Gwynn as Herman Munster, of course, the real Herman Munster, not you, Jeff Daniel Phillips. Yvonne DiCarlo as Lily Munster, Al Lewis as Grandpa, Butch Patrick as Eddie Munster, which this picture here on IMDb of Butch Patrick makes him look like Tommy Lee. But whatever.
Yeah, it does.
Ugh, boy. Debbie Watson as Marilyn Munster. I'll get to her in a moment. Famed English comedian Terry Thomas as Freddie Munster.
Yes.
Hermione Gingold as Lady Effigy Munster. Robert Pine as Roger Moresby. Bernard Fox, very famous English actor as well, as Squire Lester Moresby. John Carradine as Crookshank. Meowrang as the butler. Richard Dawson as Joey, Jean Arnold as Grace Munster, and Maria Leonard as Millie, the barmaid. Or is she just the barmaid? But Yes. But yeah,
So- But you mentioned Debbie Watson. She again. We've replaced Marilyn Munster.
yeah, I don't know, man. Just seems to be the Spinal Tap drummer routine. They just keep changing all the time. I don't know what it is, but I mean, we went with Beverly Owen for the first 13 episodes of the television series, with Pat Priest for the remaining ones. Now to Debbie Watson, who why Pat Priest wasn't called in for the same year that the Munsters finished, I don't know. John, got
It's
any
the D.
insight?
Snyder. You're too old.
I guess they were expecting
That was-
this to be like the first of 12 Munster movies, so they wanted to go younger.
Yeah.
Well,
Granted,
that actress was under contract with Universal, and that meant they wanted to put her in movies like as much as they could. And back then the attitude was they didn't care what the fans of the TV show thought. Like that wasn't important to studio executives. And also,
Can we bring back those days?
I was yeah. Real. The purpose of the movie was really for foreign audiences to be introduced to the Munsters, because they were going to try to syndicate the show around the world in different markets, and this movie was kind of designed as sort of a vessel of promotion, as it were, or whatever. So they knew it wasn't going to be a huge hit in America. I think that it was kind of a throwaway for Universal. Universal was mainly known for making stuff for kids. Like, other than their Westerns, they were mainly known for juvenile films and, just stuff that it was kiddie matinee stuff.
So what you're saying, they were the Marvel of their day.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly.
Yeah.
Except they didn't expect to make $1 billion gazillion dollars and take over the entertainment industry with it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Debbie Watson? I mean, as Marilyn.
Weak.
Yeah.
Did
fair.
not like. Oh, yeah. I even since the first time I saw her, I thought she's just really stale. As I said in the previous episode, I really like Beverly Owen. I thought she was great. She brought that.
She's the best one.
I agree. And Pat Priest is fine, but
Yeah.
she seemed just a bit too wholesome, whereas Beverly Owen really suit. Debbie Watson just sticks out like an absolute sore thumb. I thought
There was
I thought
too much.
I thought they like age-wise she was fine.
Yes.
She seemed like a teenage girl, but she just didn't, sometimes when you recast these people who are so familiar with each other, somebody feels like the squeaky wheel when they're new. I don't know. That part didn't work so well.
No. Garo brought up a good point. Way too much Marilyn in this film.
Yeah, a lot of Marilyn. There's that big subplot with her and like the English guy that she falls in love with, and yeah, it's just it's a little like, and I want to say the Munsters works best like 25 minutes in black and white, because this does have some plots that don't go anywhere, but the stuff in this movie that's good is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So it justifies it. It justifies it, I think. Even though it has some of those kind of subpar sitcom-y plot threads that you could have cut out.
There was one line that was mentioned, which was never brought up in the original series, if I recall correctly, where they're on the ship. So anyway, it starts off with Herman Munster. He's getting a carpool lift home. He's laying in the back on a slate, and he gets dragged out. One of the passers-by think he's a dead man, and he gets up, and the guy runs off. Good sight gag.
Like Anne Heche.
Ish. Yes. I'm guessing you've listened to, although you haven't, you've listened to Nez's pieces about Anne Heche, which I've heard. Oh man.
I saw the footage. It's disturbing.
The car speeding. Yeah.
No, she
No,
rises
she's on the
out
gurney.
of the ambulance bed.
Oh
The
wow,
gurney,
really?
She comes out of it.
Shit.
Yeah. It's creepy. I think she had an adrenaline surge and just kind of, it was like a panic thing, but it's disturbing to see.
Well, she ain't got it now. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. Ouch. No, she's long gone by the time this comes out, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah.
Did you see, actually, just real quick, did you see Ellen DeGeneres' tweet about her death? Boy, you couldn't get any more disingenuous. Very sad day. Feel sorry for the family. That was it. She's probably doing her buddy dance in the background going, ooh, yeah. The bitch is
she's
dead.
happy. She's happy because she's banging Lily Munster.
Oh, yeah, yeah, not that Lily Munster.
That's right. Oh,
yeah,
gosh, yeah.
the worst Lily Munster. The clown from Victoria. Yeah, you represent Portia. Good on you. So anyway, Herman is left the entire. Becomes Lord Munster. His uncle or something in England has died and left the entire state to Herman and the family. So they move over they take a ship from America to England. Anyway, what I was getting at was, on the ship, there was the line uttered that there's never been brought up before, where Herman says to Marilyn, you go find some nice boys. Don't let your unattractiveness put you off. That's never been brought up before. It's been implied but never spoken, and if not directly, not to Marilyn. I thought that was interesting they went that way.
Well, probably because it was the new Marilyn, so they didn't care. It was just like, hey, you're unattractive. They tried to be nicer because they worked with the other one more. So
we have to work with Pat Priest every week. We can't say she's old or something like that.
yeah.
I moved.
Well, I think it was as an introduction of the concept to the foreign audiences that hadn't seen the show yet, because that's what it was really made for.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
So you kind of make that stuff in black and white, like real big, where people, this is the gimmick, Whereas we as TV viewers, when we watch a show, we pick up on it right away.
We're letting the audience in on the joke here that she's weird.
Yeah.
Because she's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was.
So, yeah, getting back to you saying about Marilyn. I mean, she's not Portia de Rossi bad. I mean, there's nothing sinks as low as that. But
okay, Stuart.
Yes.
I want you to rank the Marilyns right now, off the top of your head.
Okay, well, the worst one is the one in the Rob Zombie film, because there is none. Then there's... Because he had the foresight to say, I'm not putting one of the 5 key cast members in my film.
You just can't identify with her on any level.
No. It's like,
Or,
children.
for a second there, I thought you were ranking them by their age. So I got it now.
All right.
So you were going for the oldest. Sherry Moon.
That's Lily, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lily. I'm sorry. Okay.
You want to rank
right.
Lily's or Marilyn's? Which one?
Let's rank Marilyn's, and then we can rank... then you rank Lily's.
All right, Marilyn. I'll go first. Worst is probably. Oh, but it is Portia de Rossi. Sorry, I just nearly forgot about that for a second because it doesn't exist. Portia de Rossi by an absolute mile. Oh no, the other one.
No,
not
Marilyn.
Portia de Rossi.
Marilyn. We're doing Marilyn first.
Oh, fuck you got me mixed up. Yeah, that Marilyn in the Mockingbird Lane was the worst. I just
Charity
didn't care.
Wakefield.
Yeah.
Charity Wakefield. Yeah,
That's
she
it.
was like a Tim Burton character.
Yeah.
Like she was too weird.
Oh! Speaking of Tim Burton, have you guys seen they released the cast picture for the new Addams Family?
Yeah, I did.
No.
I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it to our group in Facebook, so anyone who hasn't seen it can see it.
Yes.
I didn't even know
that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I didn't know the guy who was playing Gomez was playing Gomez.
Didn't even know there was a Addams Family being done by Tim Burton.
Yeah, for Netflix. Yeah. It's a series.
Oh, was this the one Wednesday? Is this it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Oh, right. What the fuck is that? Are you serious? Nah, it's a joke, isn't it?
Nope, that's
Luis
the cast.
Guzman is Gomez.
Oh boy, Sherry Moon zombie is laughing in a corner somewhere.
I don't know,
Catherine
man.
Zeta-Jones is like 30 years too old to be playing that role.
No,
She's
she
like,
looks. No, she looks okay.
Nah, I think she's too old. I'm gonna say it. I think she's older. I think she might be older. You think she might even be older than Sherry Moon Zombie? I think she might.
She is. Yeah, she is.
Oh,
she's
she's
damn
gotta
near
be.
60. Yeah.
She's got to be.
But Louis Guzman as Gomez, what in the fuck is that? That is the worst thing I have seen.
I don't hate it.
You don't hate it.
No, he looks like a freaking he looks
What
like
the fuck, man?
Are we gonna have to do Addams Family Month?
No,
Yeah.
no. Holy shit! I can't believe it.
But there's been so many iterations of the Addams Family, you know. It's been done so many different times.
I thought this was a Photoshop job by Garo. Somewhere was a joke.
Nope.
No.
That is bad. Oh my
It
god!
is almost as perplexing as the first cast photo of Rob Zombie's Munsters.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
Fuck. That's bad. Ooh.
It's just
Jeepers creepers,
doing
man.
the Addams Family, Tim Burton doing the Addams Family, it just seems too obvious, you know? Like that's one of those movies that people think he directed incorrectly. You know, the Addams Family and Addams Family Values.
Yeah, because they were stylistically they were probably more influenced by like Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've just for the people watching, yeah, I've just got to share this picture. This is just too crazy. I can't believe it. Just hang five. All right.
Rob Zombie was sharing this on social media, so he's
Of course he
promoting it.
fucking was.
He's promoting it.
Woo, man. He's about 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit. That's crazy.
I mean, we're just so used to like Aston and
Raul
Julia.
Yeah.
And because they're more taller, but I guess in the cartoon he is kind of like a short kind of.
In the New Yorker cartoon, he's squat like that, and he
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think
Like
didn't Hanna-Barbera
I didn't hate it.
a cartoon of the Addams Family for Scooby-Doo?
I've got
And
it.
then
I've
they
got
had
the
guys
series.
looking like he does in the New Yorker cartoons.
Yeah, that's
Like
a
he's
good
a little
point. I
short.
didn't think of that. I've actually got the Addams Family
So
entire series on Warner Brothers, my Hanna-Barbera
And when they
collection.
did the CGI animated movies, Gomez kind of was shorter and chubbier like that, like in the cartoon.
yeah, they go
Yeah,
back
no,
to the
but
Addams art, I think.
But that's because it's animated. You can get away with animation. But when you got someone who's literally real and 3 foot tall. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway,
Okay, back to Stuart
Months
ranking
to go
the
home.
Marlins.
Oh, rating the Marilyn's. Oh, Jesus. All right. So, yeah, the worst one's at Charity Wakefield. Worst one. Debbie Watson is going to be second last. I just don't like her. From memory, I think it was the one from Munster's Scary Little Christmas next. The one from Munster... Here Come the Munsters, sorry. After that. Then I'm going to put Pat Priest. Man, I'm liking that one from Munster Go Home. She was a freaking cutie. I liked her a lot.
You
So
mean
I'll put
Munster
her-
Today?
Munster Today. What did I say?
You
Munster
said
Go
Munster
Home.
Go Home.
Oh, fuck. You got me jaded from that goddamn Gomez picture. Munsters Today, I'm sorry. Yeah. I really liked her. She was all right. And Beverly Owen is my favorite Marilyn.
Now rank your favorite Hermans.
Oh, please. No.
I just want to see where the one from Munsters Today ends up landing.
On the bottom, actually, he's pretty friggin' bad.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, Bill
Yeah.
Hicks Munster. No thanks. Anyway, Lily's worst is Sherry Moon. Oh no, worst is Portia de Rossi. See, I keep forgetting about that fucking thing because it doesn't exist. Portia de Rossi, Sherry Moon Zombie, Munster Scary Little Christmas again. Here Come the Munsters. Munsters Today, which was Lee Merriweather. I liked a lot as Lily.
Yeah,
I think I
she's
mentioned that.
good.
And of course, Yvonne De Carlo was, and not Joan Marshall. She gets nothing. Just not my. She doesn't exist. All right, is that it?
Yeah,
We happy?
we happy.
Do I rate the grandpas now?
We'll wait until we
No.
get the. We'll go when Munsters the Rob Zombie comes out. We'll go back and see if you stick with those, because who knows? You might be like, Sherry Moon's my favorite. I hate to say it, she won me over.
It's gonna happen. I predict.
You know?
I
Yeah, rank the spots.
All right. Anyway, getting back to Munster, go home. Yeah, so basically they take a ship from America to England. The premises, Munster Hall, is inhabited by Lady Munster and her two brat children, who are actually full-grown adults, Freddie Munster and Grace Munster.
And Freddie's played by Terry Thomas, who, if you need like a British guy with bad teeth,
If you want
Who's
to post a
overly
child for the
fussy.
NHS.
yeah, like if you want like your stereotypical hateful British man, like Terry Thomas, excuse me, is the man for you. Like, he's
And I
just-
actually heard a joke. As a joke, he put the gap between his name Terry and Thomas to represent the gap between his two top teeth. I don't know how true that
wouldn't
is.
shock me.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
Yeah,
shock
nothing
me.
surprises me.
yeah.
But he had a long and distinguished career as an actor. He was in the Dr. Phibes movies,
Oh yeah, yeah. He was.
and he was in Danger Diabolic.
I've not
Yep.
seen that one.
Really?
No.
Oh, Stu, got to see Danger Diabolic.
Here we go.
Right,
Let's
John?
do a show on it.
John,
Gotta do a
you need to
show on
see
everything,
Danger
don't we?
Diabolic, right? I mean, I'm not just telling stories out of school here.
Yeah, right. Okay. So basically, the house or the Munster Hall is inhabited by this family. Terry Thomas, Freddie Munster, was promised to be Lord Munster, so they try, on the advice of the mythical figure, the Griffin, to which Griffin? I wonder if that was a nod to the Invisible
Thomas
Man's
Griffin.
Griffin. Yeah, the invisible figure, unknown figure. I thought that while I was watching the film. To basically scare them away, send them back to America, and then Freddie Munster becomes Lord Munster. Upon that, Grandpa and Herman discover a counterfeiting ring in the basement or the bowels of Munster Hall, which is what the secret of Munster Hall is. Because you see these two guys going in there, it looks like to be on a nightly basis, just carrying boxes and boxes of stuff out of there, but we never know what it is until we find out it's counterfeit money. What was the reason why it was being printed up again?
I don't remember.
I don't even think they told us.
Yeah, it was just.
I think it was
to do crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the meantime, we've got this huge subplot with Marilyn meeting a guy on the ship, this Chad-looking guy. And basically, yeah, he just seems to swan in and out of her life. And he winds up being the son of the Moresbys, who are the rival family to the Munsters. And it's just that whole subplot I don't like. I never have. What did you guys think of the subplot? Unnecessary? Yeah, thumbs down.
Yeah, it was just to get the like teenage girls, I think, into the movie, you know, because it didn't appeal to like anybody with testosterone. Just blanks out during that part of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get soda and popcorn.
Yeah. Okay.
We call that
beans.
the piss break. The piss break
Yeah.
part of the movie.
It's the band playing their new song. You know, you just duck out
Yeah.
to the pit.
Although
Nowadays,
Hunter
just
thought-
check your
Hun-
phone.
Hunter thought that part though was like really romantic.
He did.
Yeah,
See,
he
when,
did.
when we actually talk about the Munsters, he ducks out. When we talk about Marilyn, he's back in.
He was like texting me while he was watching it, being like, "This is my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Fuck all the Munster stuff. I just want the romance."
Geez, Al Lewis and Herman and Fred Gwynn are ruining this movie. I want
Can
more
we just
Debbie
get rid of
Watson.
them?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with the title of the movie. Munster, go home. But Lily, you stay. Not,
Marilyn. Yeah.
Marilyn, you stay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, John, let's hear from you.
Yeah. I think what was funny to me watching it now and watching it in widescreen on a DVD on a big TV is noticing that it's basically backlot England at Universal Studios, and you can see the lovely California mountains in the background during the drag race, which I don't think those mountains exist in England anywhere. So it's kind of like Rumble in the Bronx in a way. The lovely mountains of New York in the background.
Or the mountains of Dallas in Stephen King's The Stand.
Yeah. But it's entertaining. I see it. It's just juvenile fun. I really like the stuff of Grandpa turning into a wolf, because the idea of vampires turning into a wolf is an almost forgotten part of that lore, and it's not really used in movies that much from my memory. And I thought they did a good job of making that a running gag and a good joke. I thought that was pretty funny.
The only other vampire movie that I remember that being super prominent in that's fairly recent was Coppola's Dracula.
Mm.
Yeah, they really did that a lot in Dracula, because I think it's in the Stoker novel, but it's not used very often in movies.
No. A lot of Draculas are just based off of the Todd Browning Dracula. They use that as the basis for it, not the Stoker
which was
novel.
a stage play, so that's what they set off of. So it's like you don't get the real cinematic, crazy Dracula stuff like him turning into a wolf or whatever. But seems like there's been a few movies here and there that do that. But yeah, I thought that was good, and I like the ongoing gag of they're trying to scare the monsters, and of course it ends up scaring the guys trying to pull the pranks, and pretty good introductory gag for the foreign audiences to the show. It's kind of a missed opportunity.
Skeletons.
Yeah.
It's kind of a missed opportunity though, because I thought it would have been cool to have a British invasion band in the movie, or
Like Dave Clark 5, man.
yeah, Herman's Hermits or some shit,
Oh boy, wouldn't that have been good? Actually, have a band called Herman's Hermits with Herman Munster. Yeah. Missed opportunity right there.
They didn't go for it because I don't think they spent any money on this thing. They probably spent the most money on the Dragula for George Barris or whoever built the machine. But I just thought there was a lot of things they could have done with it, and it's obvious they weren't spending too much on this film. So no Peter Noon, telling jokes to Grandpa or anything like that, or the Dave Clark 5 hanging out with him or something fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it spoofs a then 1960s American child's idea of England. I think that's what's in there. It's like, there's pubs and there's young couples hiding in hay making out or whatever. So this is England for you. And Terry Thomas is your evil cousin.
Terry Thomas as the ghost. So when the ghost's up to you going die, and it's got this huge gap between its teeth, you don't correlate him in the sheet and Cousin Freddy. Okay, no worries then. But
by the way, did y'all notice? So there's that scene where Herman's in the drag race, right? And he's racing along, and Lily and Grandpa are racing to go tell Herman that there's a plot to kill him, right?
The stunt doubles?
Oh, yeah.
They're very obvious stunt doubles.
Oh, yes.
The last third of this movie seems to be mostly directed by second unit.
Yeah.
It is.
Big time. But I just was watching the scene, and they've got the chickens out in the road, And then Stuntman Grandpa and Stuntman Lily come roaring up. And, the chickens are supposed to scatter and get out of the way. They don't. And they just cream these chickens. Like, these chickens did not survive. Like, they just go plowing through them. And when you watch it frame by frame, you could see the stuntman and it's Lily and Grandpa just grimacing the whole time after they go through this gaggle of chickens.
Oh boy!
I was going, oh yeah, you couldn't do. No animals were harmed during this movie, no sir.
The AHA would have been after him, saying, "The chicken."
Well, it's funny because I was watching Rocky 2 in high def on streaming, and there's the famous scene. Well, it's the forgotten Rocky sequel, but there's the somewhat famous scene of Rocky is running. He's got the crowd of kids behind him.
Yep.
And if you look carefully enough, one kid gets trampled really bad. It's like he falls down. It's running right over him. And you could only see this in high def. There was no way I could see this like in the old days watching it on a VHS or DVD or TV broadcast.
He's like the kid getting trampled in Potemkin.
Yeah. Whoa. Poor kid.
Yeah. But as I mentioned earlier, actually, before I get into what I was going to say, the famed Dragula makes its first appearance in this film.
It didn't dig through any ditches or burn through any witches. So
No.
I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
There was no Phantom Empire robot dancing with anybody. I was disappointed. Or no, Phantom Creeps. Phantom Creeps. Bela Lugosi.
You have got to wonder how many times Rob Zombie has watched this film going, I want that Dragula.
It's his favorite movie. It's his favorite movie. He lists
You reckon?
This is his favorite. No. Munster Go Home. He lists Munster Go Home is his favorite movie. Rob Zombie.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's up there with Omega Man and what's the other, Planet of the
31.
Apes, all the Chuck Heston movies he loves.
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange, that's the other movie he's obsessed with. Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah, from the video.
I tried watching Clockwork Orange, and I kind of fell asleep halfway through it. Should I go back?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a massive Clockwork Orange fan. I've seen it a couple of times, but
I've seen it a few. It's not something.
It's worth watching.
Of course.
But if you didn't, if it didn't do anything for you, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I don't hold it. It's not. I don't think it's one of Kubrick's best.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's not terrible.
It's just. It's a little. It's not. But it's a little bit. It's a pretty sadistic movie. It's not very pleasant to sit through.
Which when he made Barry Lyndon in the next one, it's if Clockwork Orange put you to sleep, boy, Barry Lyndon's gonna put you in a coma. I tell you.
Was Shining after Barry Lyndon? No,
yes.
Shining was after Barry. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess he was trying to do something commercial by that point.
Yeah.
But this Dragula looks fantastic. Did someone say Rob Zombie owns it? No?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he owns one of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He owns a lot of
George
Munsters
build a replica or something, or his people build a replica.
Because I was actually I picked up on the weekend a Rob Zombie 2-disc thing. It's the Past, Present, and Future. I've been wanting it for years, and it just went out of print. And found it at Dixon's. I found it there for $8, and it's got.
And that's the CD and DVD combo.
Yes. And I was watching the DVD version, the DVD disc last night, before I went to work, and I thought, man, this Dragula video is good, but I could swear I've seen another version of it with Munster Go Home footage inserted in it. Or am I just nuts? Because the one on this disc is
might
not.
Have done it.
Yeah.
No, this is aired on TV on music channels.
I haven't
Unless
seen it, if it exists.
It was a promo for Munster Go Home. I don't know.
TV station was doing it.
Yeah.
They were doing MTV was promoting it.
Yeah. But so basically, yeah, the counterfeiting ring is found out by Herman and Grandpa. Then there's the race at the end that runs about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, I guess.
Yeah.
25 minutes. It's not exactly episode 1 pod race length, but it's quite long. And
like Garo said, it feels very second unit, because any shot that's of a car doing car stuff, it's a stuntman. And anytime you see Fred Gwynn, it's him with rear projection going. You know.
Yeah.
well, actually, one of the the Matt supervisor in this film was Albert Whitlock, Psycho 2. Albert Whitlock.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
A lot of stuff. Whitlock's been working on stuff since the 50s. So
that early.
I think he was Universal's Matt guy. Yeah, he was around a long time.
Okay.
So it was probably Hal Needham playing Herman Munster most of that last 20 minutes.
You reckon?
It was driving with probably, or Craig Baxley or his father, or Mickey Gilbert. So any stuntman who specialized in car racing, they'd have to
Wouldn't it be funny if
Herman mock-up on it.
Wouldn't it be funny if Hal Needham was playing Lily?
might have been. He's the one who ran over those chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Burt Reynolds.
Well,
was
Needham
Grandpa.
always did the most dangerous stuff because he was like one of the crazier stuntmen doing nutty stuff at the time.
It was Buddy Van Horn as Lily Munster.
Buddy Joe Hooker played Lily Munster.
Oh, Buddy Joe Hooker. That's something off. Yeah, not Buddy
Yeah.
Van Horn. Different. Yeah, different Buddy. Anyway, one thing I noticed as well was when Roger Moresby is kidnapped and his spot is replaced by the Griffin in his car, there is a close-up of the hands in the gloves gripping the steering wheel, and the arms are very hairy. When we find out who the Griffin is, boy, if the Griffin has got hairy arms, that individual has got some serious problems.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But yeah.
It's kind of like Ace Frehley in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
He's
black
he's melanated counterpart.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as I mentioned before, I watched about the first 25 minutes in color and then thought, I'm just going to drain the color out of this thing and just see how it plays in black and white, and flip back and forth between it every 15 minutes or so. And this film plays better in black and white.
I would imagine.
It does. It lends itself more to the image. When I would flip back to color, it was just too stark. It was the colors in this film were too saturated. Yes, that sort of counteracts what I said a few weeks back about the Rob Zombie trailer compared to Munster Go Home. But compared to when you watch this in black and white and you pop back into color, it's a stark contrast. It's too stark.
Well, I'll bet you Rob Zombie's movie looks better in black and white.
That was something I was going to do. I think I mentioned it. I'm going to literally
bet you it does.
play it in black. I'm going to, in the 2 hours and 40 minutes that we are blessed to have the running length of that film, supposedly. I'm going to flip back between color and black and white. And
By the way, are you guys ready for Johnny Mnemonic in black and white?
No.
I wasn't ready for
No,
it
I'm not gonna
the
buy it.
first time
color.
it came out.
Yeah, me neither.
That's
I've
not
never seen
on
it.
at the top of your wish list right now. Just came out
No.
on Blu-ray. Johnny Mnemonic in black and white.
It's not even in my top 10 Beat Takeshi movies.
Did you ever watch Johnny Mnemonic and go, I just think this would be good if it looked like a Shinya Tsukamoto film? If it looked like Tetsuo the Iron Man.
I remember when that movie was coming out, like we were kind of like, oh, this could be cool, because I think it was post Speed, for Keanu
And it was written
Reeves.
by William Gibson.
Yeah, and it like it beat Takeshi in it, and it was like, oh, it sounds like it could be really cool. And then just I remember seeing it at the theater and just being like, this thing's a fucking bore. It's terrible.
Terrible.
It
It's
was
awful.
Yeah.
It's got Henry
I mean-
Rollins in it, your favorite.
Oof.
Yeah, non-actor.
Non-singer either.
Yeah, Johnny Mnemonic's not a good movie, not at all. I don't think you can do anything to improve it.
If it was in black and white, that's what was missing the whole time.
The
I think
cult
every
following
bad movie-
baffles me. It just baffles me. I don't know.
There's
why
a
it has
cult around
following.
it. Is there? Is there really a cult around it?
Craig Cohen is the leader. He is, because I heard him on the Dolph Lundgren podcast talking about how many times he'd seen it. He's the leader of this cult. Blame him.
Okay, I didn't know it had a cult. That's why coming out in black and white on Blu-ray baffled me.
Neither
was
did
going,
I
who
until I
wants
heard that
this?
Lundgren podcast. I didn't know. And I heard Craig talking about how many times he'd seen it. I was like, wow,
That's crazy,
everything
man.
has a cult.
I heard if you watch
Every-
31 and Lords of Salem in black and white, they're actually good movies.
Well, we know that. I mean,
Someone was lying to you.
Stewart's the leader of the Three from Hell cult.
Yeah.
Hey,
You gave it a 10.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm the leader of the Super Mario Brothers, the movie cult.
Oh God, man! I don't think I could ever sit through that film. I don't know.
I
Actually-
wanted to see that when I was a kid, and it came and went out of theaters so fast that I've never seen it.
That Super Mario Brothers Blu-ray, the Umbrella release was at Dixon's for $5 on Sunday. I was like, no thanks.
Oh, I imported that sucker.
Oh,
Got it. Imported. Oh, Garo, you have to see Super Mario Brothers the movie. It's something else.
Yeah, when it came, like I remember I was super excited to see it as a kid, and then it just it was in and out of theaters like within a week.
Like Garo and I,
started.
I'll tell you what, Hunter and John, you review Super Mario Brothers, the film. Garo and I will review Super Hornio Brothers, the one with Ron Jeremy as Mario.
Oh, gosh.
They
We'll
actually
release them
did one where
concurrently
he
and-
plays. Did they
Huh?
actually release? Are you making that up or is that true?
No, it's a true film. Super Hornio
Wow.
Brothers.
Good casting. I got to give him that. I mean,
Oh yeah. I mean that was
Well-
on the level of what was that one? It's not the Munsters. What was it called? It's not. This ain't the Munsters. It's not the Munsters.
Again, you got a Jew playing an Italian, I think. So
Yeah.
it's a John
Yeah,
Leguizamo
you got John
type of role.
Leguizamo. James Franco can't play Castro. Leguizamo playing Luigi.
well, now you got Chris Pine, known Italian, playing Mario.
No, that's Chris.
Oh, Chris. No, Chris, the Star-Lord.
Yes, the Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
Well,
What's
whose
his
name I can't remember. Chris
Chris
Pratt is his name.
Pratt.
Chris
yes.
Pratt. Yes, Chris Pratt.
He's playing Mario. And is he
Yeah.
going to do Chris Pratt or is he going to go, ha ha, it's me, Mario. Wah,
I heard he watched House of Gucci like 12 times in a row just to get a good Italian accent.
He's going to sound like Steve Martin in My Blue Heaven.
Yeah.
Arugula, it's a vegetable.
What? Is there a new Super Mario Brothers film? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
it's an
is.
animated. It's animated.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
ready for Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong?
I'm not ready for Seth.
Hey,
Hey, I'm going to throw these barrels
hey,
at
I'm
you.
gonna throw a barrel.
Can I
Hey.
smoke them?
Oh boy.
Who else is in it? It has a lot of people in it. Oh gosh.
Joaquin Phoenix,
Yeah.
Bill Murray, Lady Gaga, Dave Chappelle, Madonna, John Carradine.
This one, okay. Charlie Day is Luigi.
Who's just going to scream the whole time.
Fred Armisen is Cranky Kong. Keegan Michael Key is Toad. And I know you're ready for this, John. Jack Black is Bowser.
Oh, is he gonna scream a lot?
Yeah.
But it's the Bowser from Sha Na Na he's playing.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, and Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach.
Yep.
And
be
Charles
phenomenal.
Martinet, who does the
Hyphenated
voice of
bitch. I
Mario in
can't
the
keep
game, is
any
best.
other names or faces straight. It just it's whatever. Simplify your
John's-
name for God's sake.
John doesn't care about any cartoons ever since Charles Nelson Riley was voicing them. That's it. That was his cutoff. Charles Nelson Riley not voicing
that's
it.
about my
I don't
cutoff
care.
date.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I will tell you, I think everybody's going to look back on Super Mario Brothers with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo and say, we're sorry when that one comes out. I think they're going to give an apology and they're going to go, we didn't realize it was genius to have Dennis Hopper shooting dudes with a laser and turning them into monkeys.
I think people are going to be leaving Blu-ray copies of the movie on Bob Hoskins' grave as penance.
Yeah. Which John Leguizamo claims Hoskins was like hammered the whole time when they were shooting. He said that they were drinking on set.
Got a son for you.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
God.
Oh boy.
Get it out of here.
He's in prison for rape now.
He's wearing prison outfit now.
Yeah.
He's in prison for rape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. All right. Look, I think we're done with Munster Go Home. As minimal as it was always going to be a padded out episode.
Yeah.
Time to rate this film. Fun fact I noticed about this film. This film runs 96 minutes and 14 seconds. Munsters Revenge runs 96 minutes and 14 seconds. That's some crazy shit.
Someone let Alex Jones know.
I don't think he can afford to know. He'll get sued by Universal.
I know.
Yeah. But
What if?
Spends all his time in
Can I
court
just
lately.
can I just say what if Rob Zombie's Munsters movie is 96 minutes and 14 seconds?
it won't be because he
It
doesn't
won't
know. No, not happening. It'll be 196
Didn't Butch-
minutes, 14 seconds.
Yeah, Butch Patrick was claiming it's like 2.5 hours. I don't know about that, but
I heard it's 666 minutes.
Yeah. Oh,
hey,
boy.
it's a super beast of a movie.
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the
Right,
tagline.
No joke.
Yeah.
No joke. I own 666 Cardano right now coins.
Wow. I
So-
own.
I'm gonna have to buy
14,000.
more to make sure that bad luck ends for Cardano and it actually goes up in price again.
Hey, I got a question for you about this movie. What are the odds that you think the song Dragula is going to be in the Rob Zombie movie? What are the odds?
Out of 100, I'm going to say 8,324,116.
It's guaranteed.
It's one of those things where why wouldn't he? I mean, he gets a nice big check from it if he puts it in there. He wrote a song about it. I mean, I would be very surprised if it was not in there. Even though
What
it
I think it's
seems
gonna be in
too
there.
obvious.
Are we
I don't think
actually,
he can help himself.
question, are we going to get a soundtrack to this film at all?
I don't know. Maybe did he do the? Well, let's look at the Munsters IMDb page, the new one. Did they list who is who? Like, is there like a person who did music for it, or was it him? If he did the music,
Probably like Mark
think
Tyler
that's
Bates.
Tyler Bates, then
Oh,
there might not
probably.
be a soundtrack. Oh, no, you're just making up.
Hans Zimmer, it'll just be a bunch of bass notes.
Composer, Zeus.
What? Oh, it's
Zeus.
Zeus. That's his That's the guy who produces his records.
Okay, yeah, he did the
Yeah.
music for it. So there might be a soundtrack.
Yeah, if it's Zeus, then I would imagine we're getting like a curated soundtrack probably.
Mm-hmm.
Because he works with like Hatebreed. Yeah, he did 31, 3 from Hell. Yeah, but he's a record producer.
Again, he just can't break away from the fold. He just can't say, sorry, Zeus, this time this is a big property of Universal's. I'm just going to go with someone else.
Oh, like
He'll use
whole
the Halloween Hootenanny CD.
like the whole thing is just him making a movie with his friends. I mean, it's amazing that Universal even gave him the little amount of money they did to make this. I guess they're just kind of testing the waters to see how much interest there is in Munsters, to say like, is there enough interest just to keep Rob Zombie keep doing this, or is this something that we should like actually make a real movie with like a real star and all that and try to go that route? I think they're really just testing the waters with this.
But the thing is, Garo, if they do that, they're now, well, really, if they're going to keep, let's say in some alternate reality, the film's a hit, okay, and it's loved. Even all the four of us go, this film is fantastic, okay. So it's a far out reality, alternate reality.
I'm seeing Pat Priest in the cast list for this.
Oh, he couldn't help himself. Is she alive? Get her in the film. To do what?
I heard he dug up Fred Gwynn.
Airlines announcer.
Dug up Fred Gwynn, dug up Yvonne DiCarlo, dug up Al Lewis. They're in the movie too. The skeletons you see in the background.
He's actually going to have the panels like he has in Munster. They got Munster Go Home. It's going to be the actual corpse of Fred Gwynn and Al Lewis.
Yep.
Oh man. Anyway, my question was: the film is loved. Are Universal now bound to having Rob Zombie and Sherry Moon Zombie and Jeff Daniel Phillips and Daniel Roebuck in this cast, which, don't look too flash.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think if it does really well for Universal, like money wise, but it's like one of those things where the critics don't like it, I think they'll be like, let's reboot this in a couple of years and do it right. If it's just hated and it doesn't do well, they're just going to be like, well, I guess the Munsters are dead proper IP for us, so we're just going to keep it to the side for now.
Yep.
And if it does, and there's a mid part in there where Rob Zombie gets to make a sequel.
And I'll be very surprised if we get another Rob Zombie Munsters thing, but it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, the way it happens is if it does well for like Netflix will be like, "Hey, Universal, we want a sequel. We'll pay you for it. Let's go." That's the best case scenario for Rob Zombie getting a sequel.
And if the film tanks the sequel, which we're way off the mark, but if it does, you'll go, it was the same experience as Halloween 2. I was forced to make it. It wasn't my vision. Anytime it goes good,
Halloween 2 is totally his vision. Did he say that about Halloween 2?
He goes, I was hamstrung and, it wasn't exactly what I wanted.
I have a hard time believing he was forced to make that. That movie seems like just him doing whatever he wanted with
Hunter,
Halloween.
it is he has got the Kevin Smith effect. When it sucks, it's everyone else's fault but his. When it's good, it's all him.
Yeah. I believe that.
You know what? As horrible as a human being Joel Schumacher was, for the obvious reason, that fucker at least took responsibility when he made a bad film. He even said, I put my hand up. I was there. I made the film. I'm responsible for it. Fucking Rob Zombie and
John.
Kevin Smith? Nope.
John, say it. Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin. George Clooney.
Alfred's sick. I should wear a turtleneck just so I could do it. Alfred's sick.
Alfred.
Kind of look
that needs to be a soundbite on the soundboard. We need to rate Munster Go Home. I forgot the title of the film there for a second. Look at Fred Gwynn's face here. That's what I am at the moment. Oh, shit. That's his face when he heard Rob Zombie was doing the film. All right. Don't worry about Rob Zombie. Enough. All right. Hunter, what do you give this?
I give it a 7. Solid. If you like the Munsters,
Actually,
you'll
I'm
like
going to...
it's gonna be
No,
better.
no. Stop. No 7s, because that's an easy number. When I used to watch Kevin Samuels before he cocked it, he used to always say to women when they rate themselves, you can't rate yourself a 7. It's too easy. So no rating of a 7 in this one. Well, the rest of this series, by the way. So 6 or down
6.
or 8? 6. Okay.
Yeah. I'll give it a 6. It is a solid. If you like the Munsters, classic Munsters, you'll enjoy it. It has some weak points like Marilyn, but there's a lot of fun in there too. A lot of good jokes. I really like the stuff with them trying to scare the Munsters out of the Munster Hall. I like the Dragula stuff. There's some good jokes in there. I think the Munsters work better in color, in a shorter format, but there's a lot to like here.
In color, in a shorter format.
In black and white, excuse me.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
What I meant. Sorry. Not in color.
Yeah. John?
6.5. It's a nostalgia, childhood thing. But honestly, I'm way more entertained by the show. Like half hour, black and white, short and sweet, a lot of jokes packed in. I think is better than once you put them in color, widescreen, 96-minute running time. It starts to stretch the concept what it wasn't meant for.
I think a little bit of Munsters goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like one episode, like.
Tell Rob Zombie that, please.
Yeah.
Tell him to get the movie down to 28
2-hour
minutes.
day glow Munsters poster is what he wants.
All right, actually, before I get your rating, Garo, you got Sony Vegas, right?
Yeah.
The program?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to chop down Rob Zombie's film to 25 minutes as a...
I do that.
As an episode and see how it plays.
Yeah, I could do if you want, because we were talking about how like it might be a little while before we review it because of certain things, and if that happens, what I'll do is I'll send a we'll have the original version, we'll have my version, and then we can review both versions.
Why is this thing only running 48 seconds? Oh, it's the credits. It's the very end credits.
But yeah, I'd be happy to make my own. I'd be happy to make my own version, edit my own version of the Munster.
A 25-minute one, not 48 seconds. Yeah, as a joke.
I'll get it down to like a episode, because I think the episodes are like, what are they, like 27, 28 minutes?
No, 25.
So I'll try to 25. I'll try to get it.
I think.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try to get it into like that box as best as I can.
It'd be like, hey guys, here's my edit of Rob Zombie's film. Why is the file only 3 megabytes? All right, Garo, what's your rating?
YouTube videos that are larger than this. I was always going to give it a 6, so I didn't go down one. I thought it took me a little while to get used to no laugh track, because I was used to that. I think all the Marilyn stuff should go. If I was going to do an edit of this movie, all that would be gone. I felt that the race went on too long. It was too much second unit. It was like wacky races with one wacky racer.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. And I just felt it went on too long and it kind of dragged the movie, because it's like the one thing you like about the Munsters is the interplay between the Munsters and the squares out in the real world, and then but you just end up watching like a wacky race go on, and you're just like, okay, this isn't really what I like to watch the Munsters for. It was kind of like, oh, we're making a movie, so we're gonna make it bigger, but they kind of take away the charm of the Munsters by doing that. So I'm sure, but it's still got Fred Gwynn in it and all the people you love, and those parts are good. It's like a good 50-minute Munster movie that has like 40 minutes of just fat on it for me.
The one thing I noticed with the color Munsters is and in high def as well, it really shows the age of the actors. Like Yvonne de Colo her face was really starting to sag a bit.
Starting to become very Sherry Moon Zombie like.
Yeah, but still much better looking than Sherry Moon Zombie.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could tell that the caked on makeup was hiding. And boy, when we get to the Munsters Revenge next week from '81, yeah, you're going to see a very different Lily. But
Also, do you know that this movie, its failing at the box office, killed a Get Smart movie they were planning on making?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
they're going to go the
Too
Get
bad.
Smart route again after that piece of crap from last time. They just don't learn.
Oh, the Steve Carell one?
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Get
things.
Smart movie in the '60s would have been great.
Oh
that
yeah,
that would have worked.
absolutely. Yeah, I actually saw a Nude Bomb at the drive-in when it came out, and was what is this film? He's called
Yeah.
Maxwell Smart, but there's no Barbara Feld, and there's no what's the chief's name in real life?
Ed Platt.
Ed Platt.
Who I think was too
Thank
sick.
you.
I think he was too sick at the time.
Right,
But
right.
Mel Brooks said he wasn't even asked to consult on it, which he would have done. He and Buck Henry would have gladly helped the movie out, and they didn't even ask.
Boy,
him.
would that have been a hell of a lot better with those two on board. But
And then Mel said he reminded them Blazing Saddles couldn't be made today.
Yes.
No way.
He wanted you to know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Make it.
Okay.
Before we go, can I bring up something?
Well, I got to give
I,
my rating if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then when you do that, I want to tell you, I've been listening to a podcast I want to share with you guys.
All right. Is
So,
this going to involve me going on the
No.
on the timeline?
No.
And no, okay, thank
No.
you.
Dumb
No,
button,
it has nothing-
dumb button, finger Sue right now.
I'm watching the time on the recording. Don't worry, John. It's okay. All right, I love this film, and I can watch it over and over and over. Watching it in black and white this time, though, made me think, am I going to watch it in color next time? Because I really enjoyed the black and white look. It was great. But hey, you got that option in TV. You can either watch it in black and white, or you can watch it in its original color. I'm going to give this 9.9. Not quite 10. But
Why were you just
9.9.
possessed by Rob Zombie right now?
Boy, because I gave it a high ratings. No, because I love this film. I have done since I was a kid.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
why. So,
Where's
Is it your
yeah,
favorite
dreadlocks,
movie, though?
Sue?
crucify me if Rob Zombie and I have something in common.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Well, you both love Three from Hell.
True.
I'm not going to leave that one down, am I?
Nope.
Can I go back and re-rate it a 0? No, too late. Oh, actually, speaking of re-rating, I must do something. I got to re-rate something from about 6 years ago that we did, which was I listened to the vinyl copy I bought about a month or two back of Walk Among Us by the Misfits.
Oh, yeah.
I rated that album, I think, a 4 or 5 for some reason. I need to go back and re-rate that a 9. I think I was a bit too harsh on it the first time round.
Yeah,
I like that record.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 or something, and Hannah dropped off his chair and then was revived and said, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, probably. I
You did.
that.
But yeah, I need to. I got to go back. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but yeah, I'm giving that a 9. It's
You were just like, no Danzig, no thanks.
Well, no, he's on that Walk Among Us, that album. Danzig.
Oh, Walk Among Us. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm not rating the Devil's Rain 9.
No,
Yeah.
Devil's Reign sucks.
That's a 1.
Piece of crap.
Absolutely awful.
Devil's Reign's unlistenable. Yeah.
Yeah, and but I do like American Psycho, even with that cover. You pointed out to me when you go, the Crimson Ghost going, come here, I've got something to show you. I've got a car I want to sell you on the front cover. That album. I never thought about that when I saw it.
No, I like the Michael Graves ones.
Yeah, one of them. I don't like
think those are
Famous
good.
Monsters. I think it's awful. The Fiend Club is Anyway, Garo, you were going to say.
Okay,
before we wrap it up.
there's a podcast out that I was like, okay, I'm interested in the subject matter, so I'm gonna listen to it. It's called Downloaded: The Rise and Fall of Harry Knowles. Because who wouldn't want to hear a podcast about Harry Knowles?
I think I
You know
heard
what
about
I mean?
this.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm listening to it.
Is it by Razor Fist?
No.
It's okay. No, it's
I'm listening to it, and you start to hear the guy who did the podcast Politics, and you're like, okay, he's a friggin' libtard, and then you get to a point where he's talking about, there was a writer for Ain't It Cool News called Joe Hallenbach, who wrote a review for what we were talking about earlier, Batman and Robin, and he talks about how during the screening of Batman and Robin, he said, yelled out in the theater, "Death to Joel Schumacher." So, okay. So then the guy who does the podcast, he's like, this was done in a more innocent time, not a time like now where that time of rhetoric would lead to like people going to the nation's capital on January 6th and start riot. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the most retarded podcast I've ever heard in my fucking entire life.
That's quite a leap to make.
Oh, and he makes those leaps all the time. Like, he's pretty much trying to link Ain't It Cool to January 6th throughout pretty much the whole episodes of the podcast. And
I'm doing the Tucker Carlson face right now.
Yeah. Not only that, like, he likes to point out when anyone is a Republican. Like, he talks about, and then Harry Knowles used to be a writer for Matt Drudge on his Drudge Report, doing
noted conservative Harry Knowles,
Knowles
threw Drudge under the bus because when it became fashionable to do so.
And then he's like, one time at the Butt-Numathon, Meghan McCain showed up to it. Ooh. And it's like, it's like he doesn't even understand that most Republicans hate Meghan McCain. It's like
he's like Liz Cheney,
Yeah. And it's the whole thing is like that, of just him trying to like be like the whole Ain't It Cool and the talkbacks and all that got Trump to be president. That's pretty much what the whole podcast is pretty much about. And it's so fucking ridiculous. And it's just like, all I wanted to hear was some good, like, juicy Harry Knowles stories. And it's basically just like 10 hours of libtardness at its most extreme.
Well,
and it's just and the other thing is, if you're going to do a podcast and you're going to talk to people and all this, you should try to actually talk to the person you're doing the podcast about and interview them. And like, through the whole thing, he does not interview Harry Knowles at all. Does not try to get Harry Knowles' side of the story or anything, which is just bad journalism. It's just bad fucking journalism right there.
Well, it's a hit piece. He's just wanting to, okay, if you want to get if you want to get mainstream audiences to hate something, you just sort of try to draw a connection to Trump and January 6th.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't make sense, because, Harry's flagrantly left wing, like nakedly so. Like, you can't.
Well, don't say Harry Knowles and naked together, please. I'm about to have lunch.
My bad. Sorry.
But then what happens is the last episode is him interviewing Harry Knowles, but Harry Knowles was the one who actually went and contacted him, and he just was like, I guess I have to interview Harry Knowles now and get his side of the story. And it's just like, literally, that's what.
Wait,
the horrible.
I want to take the stance. I'm not going to defend that podcast, but I want to take the stance of a YouTube viewer who sees Munster Go Home and goes, wow, I'm going to get a good review on Munster Go Home. And all I get is talk about Rob Zombie. Shouldn't they have Rob Zombie on there to interview and get his side of the story?
We'd love to have Rob Zombie, but he'd never come on here.
But what if Rob Zombie contacts us and says, yeah, want to come on and get my piece? Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, of course.
I gotta defend myself. Yeah.
We're actually reviewing movies and stuff like that. We're not doing investigative podcast about Rob Zombie.
Maybe we should. After watching this movie, maybe we should.
Maybe after we see how Munsters is, we might, depending on how bad it is, we might do a 10.
Oh wait, so 31 gets a pass, Lords of Salem gets a pass, Halloween 2 gets a pass. But when it comes to the Munsters, we got to investigate this shit right now, are we?
It's all cumulative. It's cumulative.
Yeah, boy, that's a hell of a snowball effect right there.
And the other thing about the Harry Knowles podcast, there were no stories about his bad hygiene, which is legendary. We never hear one story about that.
Yeah.
And we never hear stories about how he's a bad tipper. Never heard any of those either.
Well,
so it was like not even
Never hear that.
I'm a bad tipper as well. I'm awful. I am the
Harry
epitome
doesn't tip
of
waitresses at all. He doesn't tip them at all, and he's real demanding. Very demanding.
Oh, I'm not demanding. I'm just a shitty tipper.
Yeah.
You know, I did find when I was in America, Australians are very, very disliked because they're bad tippers.
Yeah.
And the story I may have brought up before, when I landed in DFW, the airport there, what's it called? DFW. Yeah? DFW. I was waiting for Joe Cole to pick me up, and the old black fella goes, "Would you like a hand with your cases?" So yeah, that'd be great, thanks. And I put some on this steel trolley, and then pushed them over to where I was meeting Cole. And he starts staring at me. I said, "You right?" He just stares at me. He's waiting for the money. I said, "Are you right? Are you after anything?" And he just walks off disgusted. I thought, "The fuck's wrong with this guy?" Oh. And Cole goes, "Oh." I was telling Cole, so he goes, "Yeah, he was waiting for a tip." I said, "Oh, that's what it was." Okay. Yeah.
You thought he was just being nice.
I really did. I thought, no, what a nice guy. But with a hidden agenda, fuck off. If you get
He's helping me out with no expectation of anything in return.
When he stared at me, I thought, what do you fucking want? But okay. Because I'm telling you now, if you guys ever come to Australia, you don't get that. There ain't people come around to, with their hand out like some Guatemalan third world going, No, it's different here.
Yeah, people don't come out.
All right, fellas.
All right. So we've all rated this film. So week 2 done. If we're still here, week 3, it'll be The Munsters Revenge from 1981. The one I think I'm looking forward to the most.
I'm looking forward to that one because I remember watching that one when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, so.
Never seen it. Should be
Nope.
interesting to hear your take on it. 15 years after this one, after these Munster go home. So the older and puffier Munsters.
Yes.
The
With no
Puffers.
Butch Patrick. No Butch Patrick.
Oh no, Butch Patrick's long gone. And
Yep.
oh shit, I forgot to rate Marilyn from Munster Go Home.
Next week, you can make a new list.
I'll make my new list. Yes, I forgot about her. I just didn't blank the film out because it's bad. Believe me, you're going to find out it's not bad. But I just forgot all about Joe McDonnell. Yeah, I'm re-ranking the Marilyns next week.
That's the whole reason he come back.
There you go. All right, gang, we're going to wrap it up. We've got a Ko-Fi page down below. If you are not horrified enough to still donate to this show, we do need help with this thing financially. So we're asking for some donations. That would be much appreciated. Listen for my episodes on Watch This Movie. Shout out to those guys, to Eric and Brett for having me on. At the point in time this recording, the 3-hour and 12-minute Repo Man episode just dropped. So give them a listen. Shout out to those boys. And we will say see you later. Listen for the Nez.
Adios.
Alfred's sick.
And now, it's time for Rue Britannia with your foreign correspondent, the Nez.
In a move that will surprise nobody other than those who think that Oprah Winfrey will pick up an invitation to a royal funeral, and she'd certainly suck cock to win a naked spoon race, just to do it. The nation stopped on Thursday evening when the nation's longest-serving monarch passed away at the age of 96. All very sad, though especially as equally sad as the shortfalling of her children. These days, however, the problems her children brought upon her shoulders compare rather mildly with the problems brought upon her shoulders by Evisa Peron and her wife Harry. Having frankly cold-bloodedly refused to visit the monarch at Balmoral Castle in their final days, the type of ruthlessness that kept Trim Capozzi and Dominic Dunn in Gucci loafers, the Markles then proceeded to get it into their heads that apparently the British public was begging them to actually return and that all was frankly forgiven. Some hope. The Markles, the trashiest, moaniest, most mouthiest, most miserabliest, most schemingest, most ambitious, most degraded ex-royals since the Clampetts moved out of Beverly Hills because of illegal immigration. When Evita Peron gets caught in public snapping at royal courtiers and walkabouts and she doesn't really know what royal protocol actually is and how it works, then I'm inclined to write her off as a caprice Imelda Marcos. And in the words of the old girl herself, quote-unquote, get me my fucking shoes. Just like Meghan. Anyway, as befits 10 days of mourning, public events are cancelled, flags are lowered, corteges arranged, vigils held, remains laid in repose, lefties punched, GB News begs for viewers, the Duchess of Wessex looks amazing, proclamations declared, news cancelled, corgis rehoused, and much more besides. 10 days. Not a lot can happen in 10 days, thankfully. Anyway, even the idea of a historic royal funeral needs local colour. Black immigrant community racist footballer Trevor Sinclair got sacked again after effectively using the death of the monarch in order to basically say that frankly Bielan was fantastic. He wasn't going to basically cry for Her Majesty the Queen, and that frankly the black immigrant community was indeed not going to basically pay condolences to Her Majesty the Queen. He lost his job again, and frankly you'll never see or hear from Trevor Sinclair ever again, which is nice. Meanwhile, Boris Johnson was as diplomatic as usual in stating that in his final meeting with the monarch, she was quote-unquote clearly ill. Fuck me, he's a doctor as well, who knew? And Labour leader Keir Starmer played both pro and con by praising the life and legacy of the Queen, whilst actually basically keeping a lid on his own MPs who demand the end of the monarchy once and for all. Putting it mildly, Labour MPs think the monarchy should be shot. Further notes in passing, the national rail dispute, which is currently ongoing, was effectively suspended following the death of Her Majesty the Queen. Big up then. All hard. All public chains and businesses will close on Monday in accordance with the date of the funeral, which is good news since my local multiplex is basically then therefore denied a further screening of Clark's 3. And Liz Truss became Prime Minister. Nobody noticed. Not even she. And finally, to concede with a final tribute to the old lady, I do find in times of grief, it's always best to basically really defer to the Holy Bible. Luke 19:17. His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Pax.